And good evening, Sword Family, and welcome to the first episode of the Teahouse Kitchen. Tonight, we're going to be making my homemade teriyaki sauce, which uses all of the wonderful, lovely stuff you see here. We have soy sauce, we have water, garlic. Yes, I know it's garlic. Shut up. We have ginger, cornstarch, and some local honey, which is going to be the first time I'm trying it, so we'll see what happens. So, first thing we need to do is take 1 cup of water, put it in the pan. Next, we need 5 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, I love this little spoon. It came from Walmart, but that's fine. And it goes from a teaspoon all the way to a tablespoon. Now we have to do 5 tablespoons of brown sugar. It sounds like a lot. It's really not. It just sounds like it. Make sure it's packed in there good. One more. I will be using this again. Just want to make sure that I get all of the dry ingredients before I go and use any of the honey, because that would be remarkably dumb. Now we have a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Now, normally the honey goes next, but we're not doing that yet, because we also need a 1/4 cup of cold water. And that is going to be for the thickening agent that we don't actually need until later. I will just use my same 1 cup. There's my water. And I need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Hopefully I have enough. One. And there's 2. So now, as far as this thing is concerned, we're done with that. So now we can go and go ahead and put the honey in. And 1 tablespoon of honey. This is going to be our sweetener. You can also use pineapple juice, but honey is just all around better as far as I'm concerned. And because this is incredibly thick, I'm going to rest my spoon here. No, that's not going to work. Now we're done with the honey. Now, I need 1 clove of garlic. If you look on the back of this lovely thing right here, half a teaspoon is 1 clove of garlic. So I need half a teaspoon of that and half a teaspoon of ginger. I didn't get my half teaspoon out. There's my half teaspoon. We need half a teaspoon of garlic. And the honey is still draining. So there's our dried garlic. And we need half a teaspoon of ginger. And that is pretty much it. Now it's just a matter of mixing everything, making sure that it gets all combined. Get this all nice and mixed up first. Make sure that honey gets really well incorporated before we go ahead and turn the heat on. Because once we get the heat turned on and once we get this cornstarch slurry poured in, it is the worst part of this entire process. And that is just literally leaving it alone. Because if you continue to stir it, it's not going to boil. You need it to boil. That honey is very, very thick. Still a little bit up in the corners, I can feel it. All right, now, okay there. Let me get my smaller whisk out. I'll go ahead and turn that on while I mix up our slurry here. That feels like it's nice and mixed up. So now we slowly add that into the mix. Yes, I know it's some of the honey got on the burner, so it's going to smell sweet for a little bit, and it's going to smell burnt. Make sure that that gets all nice and mixed up in there. And then, all about, you don't want to have it up too high because if you burn it, it is not good, and it ends up being a waste of all these wonderful ingredients. So now that it's nice and mixed in, now literally just sitting and waiting. As I said, this is the worst part because you want to stir it. You want to mix it. Don't. You'll start to see eventually, once it starts to boil properly, you'll start to see little dark brown chunks start to pop up. And when that happens, you know that it's starting to boil. Now, I have, on a couple of occasions, wanted to start stirring it as soon as you start seeing those little bubbles pop up. Don't do that, because you're just going to start it back over again. And now it's just a matter of waiting until it thickens. And once you see those darker chunks start popping up, let it go. And once you start seeing a lot of them, then you stir it and immediately take it off the heat, and it's done. You're finished. But for right now, it's a waiting game. See, I want to stir it. I want to stir it right now, because burnt teriyaki is awful. It is the worst smell. But right now, you can already smell it. It's an amazing smell at this point, because everything is all mixed together. You can get those aromatics start popping up. You can smell the ginger. You can smell the garlic. The honey's in there. I want to stir it, but I can't, because I need it. Actually get to bring the temperature up just a little bit, not too much. My brain is screaming at me to stir it, and I have to tell it no. You can kind of hear a little bit that it's starting to boil. See, now you can see a little bit right there, little there. It's starting to pop up. Don't touch it yet. You want to, but don't. Leave it alone. Oh man, that smells awesome. See, if I started stirring it right now, it would start the entire process over again. We're getting there. We're getting there. I make this so very often, and yet every single time I cannot stress how amazing this smells right now. You can see a couple little spots over here where it's darker than the rest. Little bit, little bit. See, now I'm going to have to start over again, but I was actually getting a little bit worried. But now that you've done it once, you can still already see the little, see, those are the little chunks I was talking about. A little thicker than the rest. Now that I stirred it, it'll be faster. See, now you can see them a lot. See? That's what you want to see, is these little chunks of thickening. That's what you want to see. We're getting stuck to the bottom, I think, so I stirred them up a little bit, and now they're definitely getting there. See, there's all over here now. And if you want it thicker, obviously you just add more cornstarch. But for me, this is fine. I am more than happy with where it is now. And you can see it's not bubbling like you'd expect. Okay, now we're good. Take it off. Give it a stir. Look at that color. Look at that color. Look at that. And the smell is beautiful. It's much darker. You can see, like I said, it's not terribly thick, but you can see the garlic in there. And it's done. It's not as thick as some, but it's definitely not as thin as it was when I started. And there you go. That is my homemade teriyaki sauce. All finished and ready for the unfortunate next step, which is cooking the noodles and the pork, then pouring the teriyaki on the cooked pork, spooning it over noodles, possibly topping it with some sesame seeds if you desire. But as far as this part's concerned, we're all done. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. 再见。